So, welcome. Another Monday. Here we are, a little late tonight. Hopefully, some people, I'm sure we have a late night crew that'll tune in for a Monday live stream. Not a lot going on. We still obviously have some time to kill before we have a Fish New Year stream. Now, Buffalo Bacon, if you happen to be out there watching this, we have the Omaha, Nebraska show coming up. Believe it or not, as I started to listen to that, I was like, the show seems awful familiar. And then, sure enough, I looked on YouTube and I have, in fact, recapped that show already. Somehow. Got a lot of shows checked off the list that I've recapped. Maybe I should pull up the chat here just in case anybody shows up and wants to chat. I'm sure a few people will. Anybody been checking out the King Gizzard shows? I've checked out a little bit of every show. And then if there's something really extra special that I hear about, I certainly go for that. Been listening to more Zappa lately than I normally do. Hey, what's up, Russell? Where is it? Can't even find my own stream. There it is. There he is. Well, want to play from here? No? You're kidding me. There we go. I think I figured out how to play my own stream. Oh, nice. Yes, I haven't checked out anything lately, but the times I have checked them out, I have been impressed. Dogs in a Pile, that is. They did recently put out the Zappa, every Halloween, they put out some kind of Zappa Halloween box. Once again, this year, they did the same thing. Listened to some of Overnight Sensation and also Tinseltown Rebellion, even a little Sleep Dirt. You got a little Sleep Dirt coming up for you of Frank Zappa here. So, every now and then I do. I will say YouTube Music, boy, I made the switch over to Spotify, not as some kind of statement or anything, but then once King Gizzard removed their music from Spotify, I mean, that was a lot of what I listened to. I have the Live Fish app for listening to fish. You know, that's got everything on there. So I really didn't listen to a lot of fish on Spotify. So it was pretty much mostly King Gizzard and then occasionally like other stuff. So I made the switch to YouTube Music, and I like it. For the podcast, not as good. Not nearly as good. Spotify, much better for podcasting and the combination of music. And it sounds better. I'll say in my car for sure. Listening to YouTube Music, it sounds better. YouTube Music sounds better, that is, not Spotify, what I'm trying to say here. And I like I do like the kind of the convenience of something. Like they make their own playlist. Like if you ask it to make like a playlist playing Fish and King Gizzard only, or King Gizzard and Frank Zappa only, which is something I did recently. It put together a mighty playlist, I'll say. They know how to do it. Ninja Cat Matt also likes YouTube Music. Yep. You're right. They're definitely the best cover band going. Joe Russo's Almost Dead takes a back seat, too. What about Dead 50? I think they take a back seat to Dweezil. So, Dark Star Jubilee? I don't know. I have never been. Where is that? Where's that held, Steve? I that sounds familiar. Like I think it's something I've certainly heard of, but I don't know where it is, and I don't know much about the Dark Star Jubilee. Jubilee, a little too close to Julius. You know, we don't get Julius a lot anymore, do we? I don't know who's going to be. We see we got some people there. All right, you'll take J-Rad over Dead and Company, and then you'll also take, would you take Dweezil over J-Rad? Dun, dun, dun. You never know who one of these people, the handful of people that are here. Hey, what's up? Are they winning, Spud? I haven't actually checked in on the game yet tonight. My fantasy team's both guaranteed going to lose. I don't care about the Monday night game, but I hope the Eagles are winning. Oh, Legend Valley, boom. Yeah, I should know that. Seems like I should know that. And then, what was I going to say? 10-7. Oh, the final. Oh, yeah, I guess it is kind of late. Yeah. Wow, 10-7. One of those games, huh? Interesting. Ooh, with Ike and Napoleon Murphy Brock, Russell. That would have been fun to see. Napoleon Murphy Brock probably great to see live, I'm sure. I did see Dweezil's band, but man, it was over a decade ago. Yeah, long time ago now. Saw him twice actually. I think 2 summers in a row, maybe twice the same summer. I don't recall. Once in Columbus, once in Cleveland. It was great. And that lady still plays sax in his band. What was her name? Sheila Gonzalez, I believe. I believe Sheila Gonzalez was in his band. She was really good. Oh, I will. I'll have to check that out, Spud. Another 10-7. That I did not see coming. Hey, what's up, Jake? A sprocket. I like sprockets. Hey, what's up, Matt? Got a couple more weeks. Oh, nice. Wally P still in the band then a couple of years ago. So, in April. Shit, not a couple of years ago. She was still in the band in April. She's pretty good, huh? Or at least she was a decade ago. Sure, she still brings it. Not much. Yeah, 10-7. That sounds like watching a Browns game almost. Any weather involved, or just a offensive struggle, a titanic struggle, as Marty Brenneman used to say, talking about a Reds game. Every Reds game, really. Probably not this late at night, though, but every time I go to a family function, I find out somebody new is watching my channel that it just really catches me off guard. And I'm like, well, you? What? Why? Huh? Now follow me. I was at my niece's Sweet 16. Follow me here. My sister's father-in-law. Not that far of a line to follow. But yeah, he comes up to me and was like, I've been watching you on YouTube. And he's wearing an Ohio State hat. So I thought maybe I was like, sorry, I haven't been making any Buckeye videos. And he was like, I've learned a lot about fish, though. And I was like, oh, really? Well, probably too much. I just want to get out of these kind of, I hate talking about it. I'm like, oh, no. You've been watching, too? Is everybody else around here? Who else has? And so then later on, when I went to say bye to him, he asked, this is also a thing a lot of people ask. Mary's parents inquired about this. My mom did at one point. My dad has, and now he has. The father-in-law, my sister's father-in-law. He was like, so do you go to all these shows? How do you do all these shows? And I'm like, no, they broadcast live. I rarely go to shows, as fans will let you know. I don't know if you ever read the comment section, sir. So yeah, every now and then I'm caught off guard. I don't think my 16-year-old niece does, though. Like my sister doesn't even really, but he does. Checking up, seeing what's going on, I guess. Probably started with sports, I'm guessing. I would think it started with sports because he is a big football fan. They're Bengal fans, actually. I remember trashing Bengal fans once years ago. Hope they weren't watching back then. They are kind of front runners, though. It's happening again. Like my Bengal fans that I just, whatever, I'm friends with locally, guys that I've worked with, just social media, local friends, old friends, people you grow up with. Just lots of Bengal fans when they're doing well. Not a lot of Bengal fans lately. Every now and then they make fun of the Bengals. They got real excited when they won one game with Flacco. They act like he's the savior. They've won. Well, he's been putting up some numbers, I'll say. I mean, just throws to Jamar Chase every time. I want to name any names, but somebody in somebody's family, could be mine, could be a friend's, could be anybody's really, but somebody in a family, I can't say it. I don't want to say. See, again, you never know who's going to be watching. Somebody could be looking over your shoulder. I was going to report some news. Can't though. So we've talked about the YouTube music being an upgrade. If you're into music only, that's an upgrade from Spotify. Podcasting, though, a lot of them are there, I find, on, actually some I don't find, man. Listen to this one called the Murder Sheet podcast. It's not on YouTube Music, unfortunately. Oh, the 50 years, boys. The Edmund Fitzgerald went down 50 years ago today. We got 30 minutes left. I think pretty sure today's the anniversary, November 10th. The gales of November came early, as he said. Listen to that song today. Probably heard that song over. Now, I wouldn't say I've listened to it 1,000 times, but I've heard that song 1,000 times. My dad, a big Gordon Lightfoot fan. As I've mentioned many times, I saw Gordon twice in concert and played the song both times, of course. My dad was there one night. He saw him, Gordon Lightfoot, probably a dozen times or something, like how he was with Gordon Lightfoot, like some of us are with Fish. Um, and some of the family members, the surviving family members of the guys who died on the crash or the wreck, the wreck, I guess they call it, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the song. And yeah, I don't know. It was kind of an emotional night, I suppose. It's pretty. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I hate this song. My mom sure hated the song, but over 1,000 listens in, I purposely listened to it today intentionally. Like I said, a lot of times it was just hearing it. My dad would do the thing on a cassette. He would like put it like sometimes the cassette would only be 60 minutes. He'd have the Edmund Fitzgerald as the first and last song, a couple other Gordon Lightfoot songs in between. So in a 60 minutes, you were getting about 13 minutes or so of the Edmund Fitzgerald. You're right, Gordon Lightfoot, very respected. You know, he was almost not like sometimes guys all of a sudden become legends when they die, but he was already a legend. I don't know if there's a Mandela effect for you, but he is in fact dead. He did die. Gordon Lightfoot. Couple of them here in the last several years between Gordon Lightfoot and Ace Frehley and Ozzy. Big in the F Zappa 20 household growing up between my dad and brother and myself. A lot of legends going down. It's amazing they got, you know, that who knows what kind of music I've been listening to. My brother still listens to like a lot of hard rock. Now he's not listening to like Flick of the Switch by AC/DC anymore. He did have that album at one point on vinyl, Fly on the Wall. But he does still listen to like a lot of hard rock from the I guess the 70s. I don't know, every now and then he's throwing something at me that he listens to. Never really got too into and the classic rock bands, obviously. He always did. He liked the Doors and Led Zeppelin, those kind of bands. I think some Stones. He liked the Stones probably more than me. That was one cool band that my dad actually liked. You know what? I was actually wondering that, Ninja Cat Matt. There's that part in the song where they talk about they rang the bell 29 times. And I'm like, I wonder if they ring it 30 now. Well, Billy Strings has carried on the tradition of the song. I've watched it on YouTube. Just played it on Halloween again, I think he did. Yep. Some dusty old hall in Detroit. There's a couple of killer lines in that song when he's like, fellas, it's too rough to feed you, and then follows that up with fellas, it's been good to know you. From the Chippewa on down. It's a pretty good song. If you haven't heard it in a while, listen to it. Celebrate the day. If I ever fished out at a show, what do you mean by that exactly, Mark? I'd say, nah. I mean, if you mean just like totally lost my mind, kind of had like an embarrassing moment. I had to do some chomper CPR one time, saved a chomper. He was having a spontaneous chomper combustion, sample in a jar, sitting over there. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't sample in a jar. I forget the song right now. That's not important. But luckily, we had the devices on hand to save his life. There's an old video about this. I talked about it years ago. Chomper CPR. Usually, you whip a trucker hat on him. That helps. If you got some glow sticks, start waving them in his face. That helps. The lyrics to a sample in a jar will usually bring him to. That helps. This isn't really spontaneous chomper combustion. This is something else, really. Spontaneous chomper combustion, it's over. You know? No, I haven't, Mark. In fact, one guy kind of got mad at me at a show. He was like, "You don't get real fucked up at these shows, do you?" And I'm like, "No, not really, you know. I'm usually driving. There's usually a lot of driving involved for me. Luckily, they've been playing in Dayton lately. But even then, I don't. Like, I might have a beer, I remember one time in Alpharetta, a guy bought me a big ass beer, man. It had like the biggest can of beer I've ever seen in my life. This thing was, might have been 40 ounces in an aluminum can. They were like, nah, they won't throw this at the stage, dude. Nobody with the world record shot putter here tonight. The Olympic champs. The cats are sleeping actually. Had a fire today. 3 inches of snow today. I don't know where this came from. I saw the other day, I looked at the forecast. I was like, it's going to, looks like Sunday and all through Monday it's going to rain. Turned out it dropped down into the 20s and it was all snow. Dude, I get so lost kind of looking at the chat sometimes. There's so many things I feel like going on. You had to be saved once in Vegas. Yeah, I saw another guy, and it's interesting. Another guy named Mark did. Um, I was with him and his wife, and he wandered off to go to the bathroom or get it. And I was with him all day, and we were drinking all day. And I think maybe he was wanting to like make sure he knows I'm hardcore. Um, you probably maybe you would think I was hardcore, like if you were watching me on video, all of these videos, you're like, I bet you that guy parties and shows. Not real hard, really. Some edibles. Edibles are certainly involved, you know. Some vaping on the way to the show, perhaps. A lot of vaping during the shows usually. That Columbus show. I think we went through about 2.5 grams of pens. um Is the Sphere already in trouble? Really? I have not heard that. Oh, you got a shot at snow tonight, huh, Spud? Um, so we addressed oh yeah, Floppy had an incident earlier. He got into this box that has like some spare toys, and he's got this harness that we hardly ever. I have not, Mark, unfortunately. I should. I wish. Only at Jethro Tull have I ever done something like that. Some gel caps. It was quite the experience. One of the only times I've ever hallucinated, leaving the show, like you're walking down this path and you come around the corner and the parking lot's exposed. And briefly, for a moment, I saw like 5,000 white escorts. That was my car at the time. And I like looked back at my friends and then looked back at the parking lot, and then it was normal again. But I was like, oh, I was like, how are we ever going to find my car? They're all the same. Damn, you're near. We beat you, and you're in Maine, huh? Well, what's it like on the coast? Do you get a lot of rain, or you probably get snow up there, right? Certainly, unless the coast somehow messes with it. Wally P's around a half inch. It is supposed to stay cold tomorrow. That was my best, but then I had other than that, everything was a great time at the show. It went like that, though. I'll say. I don't know how long old Jethro Tull played in 1997 or 8, whenever this was. Oh, you're right. Sorry, Spud. He got he somehow got his head through the harness sideways, and then once it was around his neck, he was just like going crazy, man. It was like a tornado around the house, and I thought I heard something high pitched, and it was Mary. I thought there was a possum in the house or something. The way she was hollering. Good thing she called me to the rescue. Uh, um, Technically, she was closer, but she probably figured I'd get there faster either way. I don't think she knew exactly what was going on either. And finally, when I got him, he was just like frozen, like, what do I do? He seemed relieved when I took it off of him. Dude, when there's a fire, Rose was like Fabio laying in front of the fire earlier, all stretched out with her arms. It's like, I told Mary, I was like, look, she's like a trophy wife. If I was like some, old millionaire with gray or balding head or whatever, it's some old tycoon type. And I had a trophy wife. I'd have like a nude photo of her above the mantle in my office or something. That's how Rose was laying in front of the fire. she's and she doesn't eat as much. I'm like, this is like the middle of the summer when it's super hot. She doesn't eat much. Um, they'll get up again though. Probably as soon as I'm done here, I might give them a little snack and hopefully retire for the evening. Hmm. I'm surprised. Normally, sometimes when he hears that, if they're in here and the camera starts, they want to leave. But if they're out there and they hear me talking, I do not know today's Wordle. Anybody know today's Wordle? Somebody might. Is Wordle still popular though? I know for a while it was. Hmm. So we got Omaha 96 coming up to recap. We got people, every time I go to a family function, I find out somebody's watching. YouTube music, better than Spotify. Floppy got caught in his harness the wrong way. The Edmund Fitzgerald went down 50 years ago today. The gales of November came early. And yeah, Omaha 96 coming up, I think. Unless Buffalo Bacon catches this and requests a different show. Oh, really, Spud? I have not tried Temptate. I'll have to give Temptations a try. I have not tried them. Interesting. I'll have to look at that. Well, maybe I did already, Wally P. Just I started listening, and then when the show was familiar to me, when I looked on YouTube, I saw my recap, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll check." I think I subscribed to him. I forget. You meant he came up once before in the live stream, and he did have the goods on his channel. Yes, Marmar. You're right. Marmar 420. Mr. Marmar 420. He's got the goods. The fish goods. Uh-oh, where'd he go? I lost my chat. Even the Meat Eater podcast was talking about the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I think somebody wrote a book. Guy wrote a book. The Gales of November, it's titled. Sounds pretty good. I don't know. Check it out. Said 25 years ago he wanted to write the book, pitched it. His agent said no. He fired his agent. 25 years later, the book's here. Oh, nice. Mr. Marmar still going to shows as well. Awesome. Cool. Made a lot of friends over. I always wonder, Wally P. Maybe it came up. I always wondered if you crossed paths with a friend, Jacob, a friend of mine, Jacob. Don't see each other a lot. I was really more friends with other people in his family, but I knew him well, and he knew me. He really lived the Wook life, bouncing from show to show. I want to say maybe somewhere in like 96 through 98, somewhere in that range. He was going to a bunch of shows, certainly did a whole tour. Pretty good dude, but also kind of Wookie. Kind of ginger color, kind of a ginger hair. You wouldn't really know he was a ginger because he had full on dreads and all that good stuff, long dreads. Yeah, probably, right? I know, just a simple name. You probably certainly did, though, I'm guessing. He almost came with me in Charleston 2016, but he was headed to England. Dude, he's such a wook. When he got over there, they wouldn't let him enter the country. He was just going over there to visit a sister. They got a sister that moved over there years and years ago and has lived over there for like 15, 20 years or something. So it was kind of open ended. He was just going over there to visit and was eventually going to come home. And that wasn't good enough for them by the looks of him. This was all pre 2020 and everything. Yeah, I was just thinking since you've gone to so many, you were going to every show. He went to every show. Things were smaller back then. Um, yeah, they were like, Wook, go home. His sister showed up and her husband, her husband's lived there his entire life. And they were like, he's coming to stay with us. And they were just like, to do what? And they were like, to visit. Like, when's he going home? We're like, not sure. They were like, we can pick a date and like buy a ticket now. And they're like, nope. Out of here, Wook. They still might not let this guy in. Buddy, I mean, he wasn't up to anything nefarious. That was pretty common, really. Like, that was nothing to him. He always manages to live, like last time I saw him, it was in Charleston, South Carolina. He always manages to be living somewhere awesome, though. And he finds like these cool little spots. There's like an island off of Georgia or some shit. I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. What? He was working there for a while. He was working in some really cool town in Nebraska. It's like, again, I didn't know that existed really. I know I'm in Ohio. I shouldn't really be banging on Nebraska, but hey, what's up, Joseph? Um, oh, Ninja Cat Matt also knows him. Cool. That's amazing, right, Wally P? Um, I don't know where he's off to now because I believe he's leaving Nebraska. Who knows? I don't know. He'll end up somewhere, probably in like some cool town in Idaho or something. He seems to be working his way west. I know he's had some hard times too. He's had some really hard times. Because one time I was asking him, he said I was telling him about being in New Orleans and how I had a really good time and it was great. He was like, "Oh yeah, I lived there for about a year." And I was like, "Oh yeah, did you go see a lot of live music?" And he was like, "Nah, not really. I was living in an abandoned hotel at the time." And I was like, "Oh shit." I couldn't imagine living in an abandoned hotel in New Orleans. That sounds like a tough time. Omaha was fun 30 years ago. I'd never heard of the city. It wasn't even one of their bigger cities. Vandalay? Art Vandalay? What we got here? Well, I said I was only going to stay on here for 20 minutes. I've went over my allotted amount of time, and I think I've said about everything. I'm glad that some people stopped by, and I see you, Spud and Wally and Matt, both Matts, in fact. Steely Matt, I'm sure if you're still here, yeah, you're right, Steely Matt. Old Lake. I never knew. I would have never known it was Gitchgumi. I always thought it was Lake Shagumi on Old Lake Shagumi. Ooh, you saw Daniel Donato, huh? Tyler. You think they would, Tyler? That'd be cool. That's when I went down there, the days between, they call it. All right. Hey, there's Steely Matt. He is Steely here. Good deal. Nice to see you, man. Boom. Tyler, everybody else, we are going to, fellas, it's been good to know you. It's too rough to feed you. How do we hit the X? Over here it is. Boom. Boom.